What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Front Nine coverage of Round 2 of the 2020 Jonesboro Open, presented by Prodigy Disc and Play It Again Sports. I'm Brian Earhart, joined here again by Prodigy's own Luke Humphries. What's up, man?
Man, always a pleasure when I'm in the studio with you. I love your commentary. I love your take on things, and it's going to be a good one.
Absolutely. We're in your home state of Arkansas, playing Disc Side of Heaven, one of my favorite, actually turning into one of my favorite courses to play on tour. Just really? Let it rip out here.
That is exactly what you do. Plenty of different tee shots. You'll be left with elevation, throwing down hills. This is just a massive piece of property, and you throw massive shots on it. And
we have a fantastic card to showcase this course. We have Andrew Presnell, Garrett Gurthie, Chris Dickerson, and Michael Mayo, the local out of Conway, Arkansas, you said.
Yep, that's right. Local guy out of Arkansas, tons of game. I can't wait to see what he does. Got himself on the chase card, well played there. And this is a little look at the leaderboard here.
And as you can see, two top players shooting in double digits, and speed is definitely part of their arsenal, so we'll see how the rest of our card does. Hole number 1, 450 feet, par 3. I really think wind is a very crucial factor on this hole.
It is like the number one thing you step up and wonder, which way is it going? What's it doing?
Can I get the birdie on this hole safely?
Hopefully you watched a couple guys tee off in front of you, and you're not the wind read, but if you are, good luck. Andrew is here.
And he's going with a pop-top pink force, getting a little drift, little lift.
Great move on it. Puts him in the circle.
Great shot.
Yeah. He's a sneaky far thrower.
Oh, yeah. Someone who's not a sneaky far thrower is this man, and I believe this is a wraith that he's been throwing all week. And that's circle 1.
I think you're right, yep. Just sneaking himself into circle 1 as well. Chris Dickerson, also a bomber. And similar to Garrett, you kind of know where it's coming from. He's so active with his lower body headed into that swing. It's fun to watch.
A little more compact of form for Michael Mayo. And if that did not drift right a little bit too much, that might have gotten to the basket.
Yeah. Little upshot. He's Discraft sponsored like yourself. I believe that's a zone from him. Probably a PA4 bid from Chris. Giving it something soft. And Garrett looking to get his round started.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
That's a great birdie to start the round. 450 foot.
Yeah, not a ton of people getting it. I wonder how much of it has to do with the fact that we can't see discs fly in our warm-ups.
It's potentially true.
Yeah.
To see what the wind is doing that day, how heavy the air even is sometimes. Presnell taps in a birdie as well.
Great birdie from him.
Yeah.
2 of 4 to start.
Chris going to tap into par. Double G, I will say this is a player who, I believe last year or the year before, shot a 14 under on this course. So be on the lookout for some crazy hyzer bombs out of that player.
Absolutely.
And we move into hole number 2. Speaking of hyzers, we have this kind of downhill pushing hyzer to a landing zone that gives you an uphill, low ceiling, 400-foot shot to the basket. One of the tougher holes in the course.
It is indeed.
At least to birdie.
Yep, for sure. Playing a 10th of a stroke over par. It's just really, it's a bomber's hole.
Yeah.
Getting around the corner, such it helps you out so much.
And there's really no room to swing the disc out wide. You really have to commit hard to this low hyzer angle. And there's Prez throwing another force.
Looking to get a little ground action. Not much out here at Disc Side of Heaven, though. The grass is tall, and it's like strong straw grass, too.
Yes, it is.
You see some people opt for this high gap. It's definitely smaller. It's about the size of a Volkswagen.
Yeah, you are correct about that.
Right?
Yeah, and Double G just does not capitalize on that gap.
Chris and Garrett both placing top 5 in this tournament last year. So this is kind of a horses for courses thing. Both of these guys like this place, love throwing hyzers, aren't afraid to rip it.
And there's that early release from Michael.
maybe just a little bit of nerves for the guy. You know, he's playing on some chase card coverage out in his home state, so I'm sure he's thinking about a few things.
Absolutely. There is a huge hyzer from Garrett, and he's still got some work to do on that third shot.
Yeah, he's far, but not far enough to where that ceiling on the second shot's not going to matter. But he was unobstructed on that throw, and I think kind of lucky to end up where he did. See what Prezi can do. That looked to be full speed.
Oh, yeah, and he's putting a move on it.
That's the line.
He puts him just at the edge of circle 2. Pretty solid positioning from where he was at. That's a little high out of the hand for Chris. That might sneak through the canopy. No, does not.
Most likely an FX2. Chris is loving that disc, like a faster Firebird or a stable Thunderbird type.
And then there's Michael going wide around hyzer. And
just the safe play, kind of opting to grab a bogey on this one. And Garrett looking to get up and down. Rock 3 out of his hand, and wow.
Perfect shot.
I mean, that's where his drive would typically land if he didn't catch that tree.
Chris is going to concede the par.
See how aggressive Michael wants to get,
And he was trying for sure. And that's going to be about 20 feet from the basket for his bogey. Here's the birdie look.
Oh, one of the more interesting putts in disc golf.
Yeah.
Just works, though. There's no doubt about it. Great putt from Michael. He's actually sponsored by Persimmon Ridge, which is, of course, a couple hours from here that we hosted a few tournaments at. Great people, Kim and Steve Jones over there.
Yeah, beautiful property out there.
It's gorgeous. I think we'll be hosting something big out there soon.
Awesome. Prez is going to tap in his par. And it looks like Double G and Chris are going to do the same.
Yep.
And moving on to hole number 3, 435 foot, straight ahead par 3. The only danger you really have, again, is this fence on the left side. If you do try to throw a little bit too fast of a disc and it gets carried away from you, that's really the only danger. Really just chuck it straight.
Yeah, it has to kind of be straight like you were saying. I think you can only take it, 30 feet right of the basket safely as a starting point. So it has to be more of a straight shot than a pure hyzer.
Presnell puts himself to about circle's edge, maybe just outside circle 1. And that's got to push.
This has got to get lucky. No, okay. Just no big skip. That's okay. Circle 2, it's not going to be a great look, but to throw out of bounds on this one would be a mistake.
And that's a little higher from Chris, so that will flex out. We'll see how much it does. Yeah, that's a great shot.
Oh, yeah. FX2 from Chris.
It's a long FX2 shot.
It is. He's had that one from the get-go, I think. He was one of the first people to throw an FX2. He was involved in the testing of that disc as well, so he's had a couple in the bag, longer than most.
Michael's drive pushes a little bit too far left. He will have a circle 2 look, just like Double G.
Yeah, a little fortunate to stay in bounds there.
Just off the tray.
Dead center. Sometimes he opts for the Sonic from there. Looked like he went Avier.
Just off the cage. Oh, no. And that's going to put him to about circle's edge again. You never want to tester circle's edge putt for par.
No. Just a little high from Prezi.
You hear that wind ripping a little bit.
It was kind of swirly. It wasn't necessarily consistent today, but I did feel like you couldn't really trust the angle it was coming in from.
Oh, and he gets the par. Little elevator putt.
Yeah. Not often you hit the band and make the putt. You'll take it. Yep.
He will absolutely take it.
Yeah.
There's a birdie for Chris. He's on the board. It's a great 2 to get.
It is. I went back and looked at how many people birdied 2 of the first 3. It's like a very small handful. I think it's like Paul Macbeth and one other person. Starting hot at this course is a big arm thing.
Yeah, definitely a big arm thing.
Yeah.
Double G taps in his par, and we'll move on to hole number 4.
Hi, this is Dave Felberg, the 2008 Disc Golf World Champion, and I'm here today to talk to you about Pro Pool and their training products. I used to be a dipper. Some people are rounders. To break that habit, you need a Pro Pool. You hook it up to a wall or tree, it'll break your habit. New release, practice poles. You put them together, you stick them in the ground, there's a flag on top, you throw around them, help you accuracy, prepare for your tournament without having to go to the course. This has been Dave Felberg with Pro Pool Disc Golf. Go to propooldiscgolf.com and try our products today.
Hole number 4, Luke, what do you think about this hole?
And I love this hole. You're left with a choice off the tee. Like I said yesterday, you're going to see most people opt for this line. The drone is flying, a little bit of a low ceiling with the sticky grass. You really have to pipe it to get all the way down there. Big arms are going to opt for a hyzer out right, though.
Yeah. And you'll see that right side really doesn't have a ton of danger as long as you clear those tree bunkers that are out of bounds. You'll probably see Chris, Double G for sure, taking this route.
Yeah.
And that is a smashed hyzer from Chris.
And you can throw it like 100 feet right of where the screen is looking. And
oh, he did find the out of bounds. That's way far right.
a little unlucky, too, really.
Yeah, he swung that a little wide. Prez is going to try to follow suit and make an adjustment.
That looks a little shorter.
And that's going to be in a decent spot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the one that Chris found, I aim at. I can't get it there, so I know that I'm cool just aiming at that one.
Garrett puts a pretty big move on this disc. Can't quite see it.
Just in the sky.
Yeah, I think it just returned from orbit, and he's way up there. He has a sonic to the basket.
Okay, he's like 120 feet out.
Wow.
That was 510 feet. 40 feet high.
And after watching all 3 of his card mates take the wide hyzer, he throws a super disciplined low ceiling shot.
Made it look easy.
Great shot from Michael.
There's OB surrounding this green on the left and long. So this is a tricky shot, and he's thrown a higher speed disc, but done it great.
Yeah.
Pulled it off well.
25 feet.
I think he's only 3 feet from the out of bounds long there, so well judged from Michael Mayo.
Prez going straight at it. That's turning over a little bit too much. That might have been a Buzz SS that he throws a little bit too short.
Hill just coming up to meet the disc a little faster than he wants.
And I like the idea of trying to get a slower disc to the basket, even if you have to throw it, you know, a little bit higher, just so you don't get that unfortunate slide deep or skip, you know, left to go out of bounds.
You're
And
right.
that's an AVR X3 from Garrett.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, and he's right there for birdie.
Mm-hmm. That was a PA4 turnover from Chris. He probably couldn't see the bucket, the whole thing from down there, so that was a good shot from him.
Absolutely. Prez doesn't capitalize on the C2. Here's Michael Mayo for birdie.
Looked like he had that branch dead center in the way. Wow. It's unfortunate to be there. This green can get a little gusty, and with this high basket, I think it's one of the windier greens on the course.
Absolutely is. I totally agree with you on that. I've had putts where I've picked up the grass and it was curving midair. Here's Double G for birdie. There it is.
Nicely done from him.
And you see, having that much acceleration on your drive just makes some of these holes super easy.
Yeah. The window he had to throw out right wasn't very tight. With 510 feet of power, he got himself all the way back into the fairway and a chip shot. That's what happens when you stay in the field work on your form and pound frisbees over and over and over again. Like, he wasn't just gifted this, he worked for it.
Absolutely. And hole number 5 is a hole, speaking of double G's, hyzer, 495 feet, slightly downhill. There is OB, short, left, right. There's OB kind of everywhere surrounding this basket.
Yep.
But we might see some players going for it. And here's double G going wide. And he's put a move on that. It feels tight.
Wow. Emperor, I believe, out of double G.
Yeah, and just like we saw out of the hand, that was just a tiny bit too tight.
Yep.
And Chris, I think he was trying to throw a flex shot through the
believe
middle, and that did not work.
Almost fought through, though.
And he's also out of bounds.
Prezi. Watched him park it the day before.
Whoa.
Wow.
What a line.
Hook up. Oh,
And
my.
that's also out of bounds.
It just never hooked up. It looked fantastic. Michael, after seeing those,
He's going to definitely concede the par.
like, let me get a stroke on these guys real quick, please.
What they did do this year is they made the drop zone much closer to the basket after Michael throws a fantastic upshot. It makes it, as you can see, a little bit more inviting to go for the birdie on this hole.
Great word. Inviting.
And Double G has no problem throwing in from that distance, so.
Good grief. And all of a sudden the wind is kicked up.
Mm-hmm.
And that like wasn't there when Garrett threw a second ago.
No.
And I was ripping for Chris 30 seconds later. That's this course.
Mm-hmm.
Plenty of space for the wind to build up speed and cruise out.
And we're going to have 3 tap-ins for bogey here. And I really think there's merit to holes like this on tour. I really like the attackable bonus birdie with the danger, around as well. I think holes like this can make or break a round, especially if you're coming down the stretch.
Yep.
A lot of strategy involved in what you're doing here.
Yep. Fantastic design on that one. Playing just about a third of a stroke over par. So Brad designed it, got a bunch of pros to go for it, and it played as a score separator.
Absolutely. Hole number 6, 315-foot par 3, island green, kind of a backstop, so you can kind of pick your poison here.
Yep.
Straight at it, flick hyzer, backhand hyzer.
This one just depends on the wind in my mind.
Mm-hmm. That's a disciplined flick there from Michael. That's got to get right. Oh, yeah, and it
Nice
did.
shot from him.
That was a solid forehand.
Garrett Rock 3.
That looks to be... Yeah.
Wow.
Right away, I kind of saw that it was going to be a perfect shot. Flat landing.
He trusted the height on it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Wow. Chris said I can do that. I got that one. I'll just do that.
And then Presnell takes out drone just to show everyone up.
Wow. Trust it on the fence line.
That is not a drone that I've... I don't think that's how a drone is supposed to fly.
He's got all sorts of drones, though, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah. He has like 2 or 3 in his bag. Wow. Yeah, and as you said earlier in the round, that was a perfect camera angle to showcase his putt.
Yeah.
I actually am going to go back and slow-mo that.
Downhill headwind putt. He released it, I don't know, at the pole.
I've said that he's a push putter, but I'm starting to realize he's like a shove putter.
Yep.
He really shoves the disc towards the basket. Michael taps in his birdie as well after a solid forehand.
Just mere formalities for Chris and Garrett. Well played from them. This day, I thought it was easier to play the backhand for a righty. We had the left to right wind. You just weren't worried about it ever picking your disc up and blowing it off the line.
Hole number 7, par 4, 615 feet. Giant mature tree in the very middle of the fairway, making you pick a side. High hyzer to the left, that's very committed. or you can drift one down right and get extra distance, but then your second shot to this guarded green is a little tougher. So I think the risk reward here is pretty balanced.
It is. I think you'll see Garrett just smash one, go for pure distance, but I think you'll see guys like Michael aim left of that tree, play a disciplined drive off the tee. This needs to...
It's a little short.
It might be short enough to where the tree isn't that big of a deal. If you get pinched behind it, it definitely becomes a thing.
Oh my gosh.
What?
That's pretty far.
It's like 60 or 70 feet past the tree.
Yeah.
Wow.
And Chris is going for that hyzer as long as it gets a little ground play. Yeah, that's a perfect spot for Chris.
Yes. That bounced from not a good spot to the perfect spot. It's well executed. Prezi, it doesn't really matter how far over there you go. Well, I say that.
Oh no. He went too far left.
That's pretty hard to do. Just slightly wide from Michael. If that would have hooked up and skipped, it would have been nice.
Prez is just going for the hyzer to crash the tree line. I actually like that play a lot. He's in circle one.
Just give yourself a putt.
And this is chump change distance for Chris. It's probably an A2 that he flicked.
Yep.
And Garrett just says, screw the trees.
What a weird way to play this hole.
Oh my gosh.
He's breaking holes out here.
Exactly.
He
And that's why players like him with his distance are able to shoot the double-digit rounds pretty easily.
Yeah, we can't set the courses up for Garrett. If we did that, it'd be ridiculous for the rest of us. We have to set it up for us, and Garrett gets to break it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the reality of the situation.
Here's Prez for birdie. Yeah, there's another one. He's starting to heat up a little bit.
Yeah, a couple great circle's edge putts the last two holes. There we go.
Par for Michael. And yeah, it's interesting that you said that. It's kind of like the tiger proofing phase of golf where they're saying, you know, do we make the courses longer? And then, well, shoot, if we make the courses longer, Tiger's just going to win by even more. It was kind of like that. You know, we have a lot of players in our sport that are gaining this elite level distance that are separating themselves from a lot of people in the field.
Yeah, exactly. Well said. And it's a small handful at this point. I feel like they have Garrett upper echelon power, so you can't start changing the courses based on.
Not yet.
Until then, he's just gonna break them. All right, hole 8. Generally speaking, a righty forehand hole. Could also go. I mean, the lefty spike hyzer works great for a guy like Brian, but this one you just want to get around the tree. You know, and it tricks people into throwing into the tree, basically. Play is to throw it a little bit long. I mean,
That was a sweet little Anheuser from Garrett.
goodness gracious.
Kind of popped his wrist up last second.
I think throwing a stable disc here, letting it hook up and lift a little bit in this left-to-right wind is the play. A lot of guys, though, you'll see Chris, he made a decision. He wasn't going to go short. He was going to give himself a putt, and that's why he ended up where he did.
How many drone turnovers have you seen?
Not a ton. I have played with Prezi, though, and he's got that seasoned green one, and he does work with it. I mean, he throws it from like 400 feet, too. Those are stable mid-ranges, right?
The most overstable mid-range that Discraft makes.
Right. That's what I thought.
There's Michael showing off the forehand chops. That's a
Let's
fantastic
go.
shot.
Michael getting started. The man has earned himself one.
Chris giving it a bit of a bid.
That's really the last thing you want to do on a bid, too, on a side hill, high-raised basket. Hit the bottom of it, you know?
Exactly. Presnell is going to tap in a par. Here's double G for birdie.
Oh, yeah.
There he goes. That was a fantastic turnover that he threw. I can't overstate that. That was really awesome line. He landed it softly on the downhill green.
So touchy.
Something we say now he's starting to get known for his touch.
Yeah.
Aside from his power.
Yeah, he's like Dustin Johnson on the PGA Tour. He's got upper echelon distance, and then he hits those, wedge type shots in so nice. He's just around the green. Super handy. I think it's just growing up with a Frisbee in your hand.
Exactly.
Not just playing disc golf, but playing catch, playing ultimate, playing everything. All the disciplines.
Hole number 9 is a 750-foot par 4. Tight gap off the tee, pushing you left. You kind of want to throw something slightly understable if you're a right-handed player, pushing it out on hyzer and letting it flip up and push nose down 3/4 of the way through the flight. And then your second shot is no slouch either. Giant uphill hyzer with a protecting giant tree to the right of it. Another fantastic placement-oriented par 4.
Yep, well said. Definitely need that flip up if your disc moves too far left.
Thank you, Garrett, for showing what the shot is.
Oh, my gosh.
That's a wraith out of his hands. Slow flip up. He'll have a nice spike hyzer to the basket.
Yeah.
Yes.
Great shot from Michael. Looking to get some momentum going. Got a birdie.
Super clean.
Yep, that's a good spot to be.
What's this star power disc that Chris is throwing?
It's a flippy D1, I believe. He's had it in the bag for a long time. I see him crush it all the time. We played together at Ledgestone, and he was just sending.
That's way up there. And that force is going to get a little bit too stable on Prez, but still in a decent spot.
Yeah, cut off his angle a little bit, make it a little tricky. You're never really parking this hole, though. If you want the bird, you're going to have to hit a circle's edger. This is hanging out, and he'll most likely just have a 150-foot, I'd guess, forehand approach from there. I think this is the same disc he threw off the tee.
Yep. Pop top force. That's pushing left. Looks decent.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
He'll have a 35, 40-footer from underneath the tree. And there is this left gap, and I love that Chris is taking this.
Let's go. It grew in a little bit this year. I was thinking, kind of took the chances of that happening away. I was over there yesterday, and I didn't do it. Kudos to Chris. That guy's crazy.
And then double G is going more traditional hyzer around. And like you said, like the hyzer coming in just underneath the tree.
He did it with a rock 3, too, so that it would minimize the skip, raise up the whole way. I mean, that's just a high disc golf IQ move right there.
Okay.
Oh, it stayed in the air.
3 down for Chris Dickerson. That's another birdie. He moves to 10 under for the tournament.
So proficient with that step putt.
Oh, yeah. And here's Prez for a birdie underneath this tree.
Great.
Okay.
I mean, he's hit a ton of circles edgers this round already.
And he's had to. He's had so many this round. And I feel like that's what this course kind of gives you. You have to be good from around the perimeter of the circle. Because these 28-footers are going to present themselves time and time again. These approach shots on these par 4s are not easy to park.
No, you're exactly right. Garrett.
Come on, Garrett. You knew it right away.
It's a very distracting course to play on. I think there's a lot of baskets, nearby baskets. There's a lot of walks that people... Garrett is a player who likes to focus on things and can be distracted, like all of us. I'm not calling Garrett out. I'm just saying that could have been a possibility of that.
Definitely. Garrett taps in the 4, and that is going to do it for our front 9. We actually have some solid rounds beginning right now. Double G is at 4, Presnell and Dickerson at 3 down, and Michael Mayo has put himself back to even, but again, we have this back 9 coming up. Luke, any closing words?
Man, checking with the leaderboard, Paul Uliberry flying off real quick. That's my last word. Shout out to Yuli. Got one going. Thank you guys for being here. Thank the patrons of Gatekeeper. You guys are awesome. Couldn't do it without you.
And yeah, we'll see you on the back 9.